Hey guys, my name is Danny Rodriguez and I am the founder of Travoll, and today is launch day, so it is a great day. I am super excited to share this with the world. So, what is Travoll? So, it's a fully collaborative digital whiteboard where you can drag and drop flights, stays, activities, restaurants, and more, and essentially plan your trip itinerary in real time with your friends. So, most people they plan their trips on Google Docs or Google Sheets because they're collaborative tools, and then they call someone on Zoom, and then they share their screen, and then they have a million tabs open, and they're like, oh, what should we do? And then they copy and paste and screenshot and put it into their Google Sheets. And if this sounds any way familiar, I do it or used to do it before Travoll, so that's kind of where this came from. So Google Docs isn't really designed, or even Google Sheets or Excel or whatever, it's not designed for something as visual and creative as travel planning. So you end up with rows and rows of data, long lists of plain text, and that can get super confusing when you're trying to visualize your trip, when you're planning it, and when you're on the trip. You're like, oh, let me pull up my Google Doc, and then you're just like scrolling and it's just plain text, and it's really confusing. So essentially, Travoll changes all of that, and it's an all-in-one visual mind map for your itinerary. So everything's laid out visually, so it's really easy to see how each piece of the trip fits together on this big canvas. So my whiteboard people, I was a whiteboard person in college where whenever I had an exam, I would just lay out everything and with a marker and magnets and kind of lay out everything, because I'm definitely a very big mind map person. So if you're a mind map person, you're gonna love Travoll. So essentially you can group ideas together, add sticky notes, draw, and get a big picture of your whole experience using Travoll. And there's nothing else on the market that lets you plan trips the way Travoll works, so I am just beyond excited to share this with the world, to get your feedback and essentially change the way that we plan trips. So the whole thing is to make trip planning the way your mind works. So let's get started. Enough of my yapping. So this is your trip page. So essentially this is where all of your trips will reside once you make them. So I have a couple trips that I've been working on, so once you create them, this is kind of where they show up. So let's go ahead and create a new trip, because I'm going to walk you through the whole process of how that works. So move this up here. Let's do September 14th through the 19th. And last night I was watching a travel itinerary video on Rome, so we're gonna go to Rome. So Rome trip fall 2025, that's the name of our trip. And then we're gonna go to Rome, Italy. Let's do it. Now it kind of creates a trip and initializes our dashboard, and then we can get started on actually planning our trip. So it's preparing our canvas. Here we go. So I'm going to high level explain how everything works essentially from a section standpoint, like this section does this, and then we can kind of go further into how everything works. So the gist of Travoll is it's blocks. You have this huge canvas here. So it's a basically, not infinite, but pretty infinite canvas, where if you're familiar with Figma or Miro, or even like Canva has this function as well where you can whiteboard things. This is essentially a whiteboard where you can drag and drop all of your things onto this whiteboard and plan your trip and see it visually. So the beauty of it is it's supposed to just be this drag and drop interface. And over here we have flights, stays, things to do, food and drink, and then we have these custom blocks, and then this is your trip details. So I can go into each of them. So for example, you're in Rome, what do? You can either search specific activities or things to do. It's like, oh, I really want to do this specific cooking class. You can type it in and you could find it. But if you have, just want to see what there is around and other things that travelers have done in Rome and that have loved, you're like, oh, I definitely have to go to the Pantheon. But here's the thing. If you were using a Google Doc, you'd have to like copy and paste, or you'd have to screenshot this and add it and then format it and and all that stuff. Here, all you have to do is say, I like the Pantheon. I'm going to grab it and I'm going to drop it onto my canvas. And as soon as you drop it into your canvas, you can completely interact with it as an object on your canvas. So it's basically this beautiful looking object where you can look at it, see all the pictures, you can read more about it, the fact that it's, all these different things. And what's cool too is that if you want to add more pictures or add your own pictures or anything, you can edit it completely, and you can 100% make it your own. You can add the price of the tickets if you bought them ahead, the start time, the end time, and all that stuff. So you have full flexibility to do whatever you want with your Travoll dashboard. So that's here. This is for that, and this is like all the cool things that you could do. And like I said, if you don't find anything, which, I mean, maybe you want something more specific, you can actually search for it, and most likely you'll find it here. So this is, you can do that for stays, you can do that for things to do and activities and food and drink. And here's the cool part too is, for example, if you're doing something completely custom, let's say you're going to a wedding or you have a birthday party, or obviously something that you wouldn't find by searching the internet, you can create a custom block and kind of basically make, this is like a blank one of these, and you're like, okay, you can here go edit it, and then you can add the name, images, category, and all these different things. And then when you add an address, it'll actually allow you to see it on the map. So I forgot to show you that if you go here, you can actually open it on the map. See, it just opened it here, and you can see exactly where it is on, where you, everything you drag to the canvas, you can see where it is on the map because you can click this little map function. So it's really cool because now you can visualize where everything is at a glance, literally at a click of a button, which you can't do on Google Docs, by the way, unless you link it to, it gets complicated. Trust me, Travoll is much better. And then you have packing lists and you have time blocks. Time blocks are actually kind of cool because you can basically add times to your time. So it's like, for example, I just want to stroll around this specific area, and I don't have a specific time that I'm going to be doing it. I'm just going to be doing it from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. That kind of time is up to whatever we want to do, because not everyone wants to plan every single second of their day. Some people do, I do, but you don't have to. It's kind of flexible. And I forgot to show a very important part. Once you're done, you're being like, okay, I really want to go to the Pantheon, and I want to do it in day 2. You can drag it here and drop it into this trip plan. And this trip plan is essentially what reflects as your actual trip plan. So when you click preview, see, Pantheon showed up because that's the concrete plan. Everything that's outside in the canvas is like thoughts or maybes or just laying it out there, grouping it. But once it's in this trip plan, you can obviously remove it, and then it'll update. Takes a second. But if you add it back in, it will update again, and then that will be kind of like your plan. So that's kind of these blocks are, and then you add more and more stuff. So you add it, and then you could even rearrange the blocks, so you can add times. So this is kind of like the finalized stuff. And that's this area, and then this is obviously your trip, where like the details, like if you want to change the trip name or the description, dates, all these different things. So that's this kind of area. And then we have the AI trip builder, which is actually really cool because let's say you want to learn more about a specific part of Rome, and obviously you can search things here, but everything's kind of turning to this agentic AI where you can ask questions and get immediate feedback. So you have it built in right here into Travoll. So you can actually ask one of these questions, but I'd be like, what are the best places to eat in Rome, Italy? And then you could search it, and the cool part is that once you search it, it will actually give you recommendations. It'll be like 3 highly rated restaurants, and then you could look at them, and then the coolest part is that you're like, oh, this one seems kind of cool, has really great reviews, platters of meats and cheeses and wines, that sounds amazing. I'm gonna add it to my board. You can go boop, and now it's real. Like once you add it to your board, it's real. You can add it here, you gotta add it here, you can add it over here. I like this one too. I'm gonna put these over here, and then the cool part is that you can add sticky notes. So I love the sticky notes, they're like super fun. And be like, possible restaurants for day 5 for lunch. And you can kind of put them over here, and they could sit here and then be like, oh, I like this one too, I'm gonna add this one over here. And then later on, when you invite people to help you collaborate, you can be like, hey guys, which one do you like more? Because we have a voice chat. And then you'd be like, oh, actually I like this one, so we're gonna add this to day 2 for lunch. And then it's there. So I hope you're starting to see the value of this, because it's completely visual and completely interactive. It's almost like a game if you think about it. Like drag, do this, and it makes it really fun. So I'm really excited for it, and I'm just super excited to see what people come up with and all the different trips they plan, and the fact that we're going to start with templates soon, so people can create trips just like kind of for fun, or trips they've been on, and then they could share them with the world via templates, and people can clone their templates and go on their same trips as their favorite influencers, or their friend who went on this crazy Japan trip and they want to know exactly everything they did. So this is also the map here. So it's like, oh, I'm gonna click on this, and then it creates, if every time you click on any kind of object on the map, it creates a card that you can drag onto the canvas. So you can also explore Rome via the map too. So for example, Galleria, let's see this, or see this hotel. That looks like an area that I want to be in. So I'm gonna click on it, and you're like, ooh, that looks kind of nice. That looks super nice. Let's drag it to the canvas, because it got hidden behind my sticky note. It's because that's the hotel I want, or the area I want to be in. So you can actually search so many different ways. You can search via text or via these recommendations. You could do it via the AI trip builder. You can do it from the map. There's so many different ways that you could search for stuff in Travoll and drag stuff onto your canvas. So it's kind of any which way that you like. If you're a visual map person, if you like to chat with like an AI, like a ChatGPT type thing, there's options for everyone. And then there's even the custom blocks if you want to make your own block. So that's the different ways that you can interact with Travoll to like drag stuff onto your canvas. And now I'm going to talk a bit more about the collaboration. So the very fun part about Travoll is that you can collaborate in real time with your friends. So whenever you add a collaborator, you can, then it'll initialize, there's no one here, so there's no point in starting a voice chat. But if I wanted to add someone so they can collaborate with me real time, I would go ahead and do this. So let's move this over here. And so there's two different types of collaborators. There's desktop collaborators and there's mobile viewers. So a desktop collaborator is someone who can come onto here and they can help you plan your trip real time. A mobile viewer is purely someone who could just see it on the mobile app. Because for example, if you're planning a wedding, you might only want like 2 or 3 people helping you plan the wedding, but you might have 50 people that you want to invite and want to have the itinerary. So that's kind of that use case. And also desktop collaborators can also be mobile viewers, obviously, because just because you're planning doesn't mean you're excluded from seeing it on the mobile. So, and vice versa. So let's go here. Let's actually invite, I'm gonna invite one of my other accounts so that we can test out the live real-time trip collaboration. And here we can actually auto invite as a mobile viewer as well. So then that email will get both a desktop collaboration email and an email with a trip code that they can redeem on the mobile app and then see it on their mobile app. So let's go ahead and share the trip. So now they've been added as desktop and mobile. If it's depending on their read access, it could be desktop only, mobile only, or desktop and mobile. So it's been sent, and if you notice, they've been added to both of the collaborators. And if you see here, this is my other account, my like test account. It says I'm offline, but it says letstravoll@gmail.com. I got an email on my other account, so I'm actually going to here on my other screen. I have my other account pulled up. So I'm going to refresh my page, and hey, there we go. Rome trip fall 2025. It is here. Let me sign into it. If you notice, I went green, and then now Travoll. Well, this is on my other screen because I can demonstrate how this works. But this is the other person, which is me. And then look, you can it's just so cool. You can literally collaborate in real time with your friends and see what they're doing, and they could drag stuff into your board and they could do all sorts of things, and you could see it real time. So it's kind of insane. I'm just super excited about it because getting this to work was just so many hours and hours and hours of it to be so seamless. let me see. It's confusing when I have two screens in front of me doing the same thing. Theoretically, there'd be another person, but see, this is moving. Oh, and then, hear me out. There's drawing as well. So, these are bad drawings, but I'm gonna erase them. But let me show it on this screen too, so you can see how it's actually activated. Because so you click here on the drawing mode, and then you can choose your color, and then you could draw a smiley face, and the other person gets it as well in real time, as you saw. And then you're like, oh, I like this one, but I also like this one. So you can draw a little arrow or whatever, and then you can obviously erase it after. So that's kind of the beauty of Travoll, is it's fully real time, and you can see all your friends. You'll see if they're online, and then basically, if you, let me see. I'm wondering why it's not. Oh, so I think it's because I'm on the same laptop, so it's being weird. But essentially, since I have two people on now, I can start a voice chat, and essentially I can actually real time chat with my friends while we're planning. So if you initialize it, it'll connect, and then see, there's only one person now. I'm sure I can add it. For some reason, my internet cut out in the last one, so I have to restart the video. But essentially, in that case, I wanted to just kind of move over to a different trip that already has a lot of blocks populated. And as you could tell, day 1, day 2, you can see there's a lot of stuff going on here, in the sense that you have all of this. But here's the beauty. If you go here to preview, you can actually preview all of this, day 1, day 2, and then the coolest part is that, let me pull up the mobile app. The mobile app, you can completely mirror what you have here, and then now it becomes on the go in your pocket. So when you're on the go on your actual trip, you can pull up your app on your mobile device, and then you could click on it, and then you have exactly what you're seeing here on your mobile device. As seamless as that. So you're like, okay, at 12, well, I don't know why we're going to the museum at 12 a.m., but essentially, once you plan it out fully to your liking, you have your entire trip plan here. You have the overview, and you have everything at your fingertips on the go for your trip. And the whole thing too is, if you have any, since this is a new platform, it requires, kind of learning how the tools work and how to optimize. It's going to be kind of like any software that you learn, like for example Figma or any of the Adobe products, where you have to kind of learn how it works for you, and you have to learn your workflow. And after that, it gets really exciting, and I'm going to start making more tutorials and posting them on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram, and all the different social media platforms, and show you tips and tricks on how to make your Travoll trip amazing. So I'm super excited. If you have any questions, contact us at hello@travoll.com. You can also, on the website, there's a way to contact us. And you can email me personally. I will be responding. And also, you can also see feedback as well. Send feedback. So, for example, if there's a bug, hopefully there isn't, but you never know. Feature requests, just want to say hi, general feedback. You can send it with your email, and then you can, well, this is going to be your email, not mine, so I can keep track of who it is, and I can contact you directly. And then you can message us back about, what it is that you wanted to send feedback about. So when I say us, it's kind of funny. It's literally a one-person team. This is something that it's taken me over a year to build, and I'm finally releasing it, and I'm really nervous because I haven't built something as insane as this, if that makes sense. Because this is just kind of like a life, like almost like, your life's work. Like, this is kind of what that's become, because I've poured so many hours into this. And I'm just so excited to see what people do and how they use Travoll to make their trip planning process easier and better. So, happy Travolling, and I hope you enjoy it. Thank you, guys.